Good morning, and welcome to day 39 of our Lent Devotional series. Today's episode is the last one in the series, so if you've made it to the end, congratulations. If you've missed episodes along the way, I'd encourage you to check out our YouTube channel where you can find all of the past episodes. Today, we celebrate Good Friday, and our passage for the day is Isaiah chapter 53, verses 1 through 12. If you haven't read the passage yet, I'd encourage you to take some time to do so before you continue on with the video. In today's passage, the prophet Isaiah talks about God's servant, the Messiah, who will restore the people of Israel and make them into a light for all the nations, testifying to God's goodness. But the unexpected part of the message is that the Messiah will do this by suffering and dying for the sins of the people. It's one of the clearest pictures of the ministry of Jesus in the Old Testament. In light of Good Friday, I want to focus on verses 5 and 6. In verse 5, we read, "But he, the servant, was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed." The popular view of the Messiah in Old Testament times was that he would be a conquering king. So when Isaiah starts talking about the death of the Messiah, it's something that people would totally not have expected. But Isaiah wants us to know that the Messiah's death would have a purpose, and that purpose will be able to pay for the sins for the people once and for all. Like the lamb who was sacrificed for the sins of the people on the Day of Atonement under the Old Covenant, the Messiah would die as a sacrifice to pay the penalty that we deserve for our sins against God. Verse 6 states this idea another way, and it begins by reminding us that we, like sheep who have wandered away from their shepherd, have all wandered away from God in one way or another. Isaiah says that our sin in doing so has all been laid on the Messiah. And the image here is that of the scapegoat. Under the Old Covenant, after the lamb was sacrificed for the sins of the people, the high priest would place his hands on the head of a goat, and he would transfer the sins of the people to that goat, and then he would send the goat out into the wilderness outside of the city to carry away the sins of the people. So what he's saying here is that the servant, or the Messiah, will likewise carry away the sins of the people. So today, as we remember and reflect on the horrible death and crucifixion that Jesus suffered, we do so knowing that his death had a purpose. It was the once for all sacrifice for our sins, which he also carries away from us. And the result of it is that we can be restored to God and have peace with him. We can have a right relationship with him again. And the image of God in us that has been marred by the effects of sin in our life can be healed. We can actually begin to become the people that God intended us to be originally. So in light of all these things, I hope you have a wonderful Good Friday. I hope we see you tonight at our Good Friday service, and I hope you have a blessed Easter.